Hello, this is a video about an MSR XGK EX stove. As you can probably tell by now, the stove is not in working condition because it's completely disassembled. I took it apart because I wanted to replace the burner preheating pad, which is in very poor condition at this time. And my plan is to put some carbon felt in there, although I do have an email into MSR to find out what this material actually is and if it's available as a replacement part, and who knows, maybe I'll get an original one, I don't know. But my thought is to put carbon felt in. I think that just might be a better option for long term. Anyway, so I'm going to set this off to the side because it's kind of gross. I completely took apart the stove. It was a minor challenge. It wasn't extremely difficult, but it's definitely not something you need to do since all the parts you really need to replace are in the burner assembly. Let's see where to start on the grand tour. Okay, we'll start the housing. This is the housing for the stove. It appears to be made out of aluminum. It's pretty lightweight. And if you look, these three pieces on this side go to the top, and on this side they stop partially towards the bottom. And the reason for that is you have these three springs, and they will eventually end up sitting on here before you put the bottom plate on. Now this is also where the arms fit in, so they will fit in like that, and they're pretty light piece. If you notice the top part here, there's a roll pin that holds the upper part together. You can see the roll pins in here. Let's see, there's a roll pin there, there, and there. And I'm not really sure how these top pieces are held together. They might be spot welded. Kind of looks like that's the possibility of that, where these two large dimples are, right there and right there. So those fit in the housing like that. I mean, if you have an XGK EX like this, you're familiar with how it's all put together. These are the lower feet. These were the part that needed to be disassembled before the rest of the stove could come apart. I'll give a little tour of these. They are aluminum. They have the MSR logo stamped in them. You can see that. There it goes. They have pretty nice grippy feet on them. And then there's this roll pin that goes through them. And that roll pin eventually fits through this hole in the bottom. At the top of the arms, you'll see a little dimple, and these brass washers fit in there, like so, when you're putting the stove together. And that brings us to the bottom plate. So this is the bottom plate here. Now, it's shiny. It's I guess it's chromed. I'm not really sure. Maybe not. It's very shiny. But you'll see these little dimples right here. There's 3 half-moon dimples, and that's what controls the movement of the feet. And these dimples here, these upward facing dimples, are the part that ride in that channel right there. So this is obviously the bottom of the plate. Now if you flip the plate over, that's the part that the stove burner assembly fits into, and you can kind of see that the center of it is definitely dimpled downwards. On this one particular side, you'll see a slightly raised edge. So there's the edge right here. The other two sides do not have that. And that goes on a specific way. That goes on the part where the burner tube fits into the housing, and it helps provide support for the preheating loop. Okay, coming over here, we've got the jet and the shaker needle. Both of these are the original ones that were in it, marked GK. It's the short version. And there is the cleaning needle. Nothing too exciting there. This is the top of the burner plate. You can see the EX on it. That's the excitement of the burner plate. Coming over to the burner assembly, that's pretty much it right there. You got the hook for the fuel pump when it's on the bottle, and this is the actual burner assembly itself with the pretty big loop on it. Now this pin, or this rod that passes through it, is what secures it into the burner housing. If you look on the sides of the burner housing, you'll see a hole here and a hole on the opposite side here. So that's what these pins fit into, and then these little push-on speed nuts hold that on. Those are pretty typical MSR parts right there. The jet goes down in the bottom, as does the shaker needle. The tube appears to be brazed or somehow soldered to the burner assembly. And the hose comes off. It's a flexible hose. Now the fuel pump block here, there's no real need to take it apart, so I didn't. If you look on the block, this one says MSR 1005, which I'm presuming is the manufacture date. And if so, this is a pretty early one, because if I did my reading right last night, the XGK EX was introduced in 2005, so this is a moderately early one, I would guess. This is the cable that passes through the tube. Like I said, if you're familiar with MSR stoves at all, you know all about these metal cleaning wires inside. Now the reason I did all this was because, first of all, I wanted to replace the preheating pad. Second of all, when I got the stove, it was extremely filthy. It had been run on automobile fuel. It was caked with all kinds of dirt and crud. I just wanted it to be cleaned up a little bit nicer. I'm not a super huge MSR fan. I thought I'd pick this one up anyway just because I got it at a good price, and I thought I'd go through it, clean it up, and if I decide to sell it, it's pretty much all set to go for the next owner. Or if it's something I want to keep, it's all cleaned up for me. So right now I'm just waiting on the preheating pad situation, and once I get it all back together, I'll do some test fires and get some videos of that. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.